it's currently Thursday night. I'm editing my vlog together. I've sent over my footage from my phone to my Mac. The files have sent over fine. They play when you go into the folder. But then when I import them into iMovie, they are not going through. I've tried everything that I can. I'm not a very techie person, so I don't know too many different things to do. But I've tried everything I can, and yeah, the audio is going through to iMovie, but the image is not. So I would seem cannot import that into iMovie at the moment. So I have the footage in my folder, but I can't import it at the moment. So I will try working on that over the weekend and see if I can change a few settings or something like that. Unfortunately, I don't have the time at the moment to do it before I edit all the video together and send it out for tomorrow for you guys, for you lovely viewers to watch. So I do apologise about that. Technology, they say, is great when it works. It's a pain in the arse when it doesn't. This is one of those times where it's a pain in the arse. So I do apologise, but I will try my best to get that footage out to you at some later point. So here's a quick time lapse of me tidying the garage. I also got some clippers delivered today, so there's a quick time lapse of me cutting my hair. So yeah, enjoy, and I will see you at the end of the video. So, I'm going to try the clippers out, see how we go. Wish we'd got a grade 2 on there. So it's quite short, but that's what I normally have. So we shall see how it goes. Straight down the middle. Pleased with that. I need to just tidy it up, but the camera battery is dying, so that's why it's quite good though. These are wireless with charging port, but they also have a little display here, so tells you how many minutes of battery you got left, which is really good. They're off eBay for £31, something like that. So yeah, it's good that, yeah. Let's go tidy up the rest of this off camera because it's dying. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. So I've just finished my hair. I've changed my top because you know what it's like when you have a haircut and hair goes everywhere. Those clippers worked really, really well for £31. Really pleased with them actually. Been needing a haircut for a while. I'm glad I got these clippers off eBay. This is not sponsored, obviously. And they worked really well, so yeah, that'll be used again. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to sit down with you guys and explain a few things about what content I want my channel to have. So as you probably saw in the time lapse earlier of me tidying the garage, you can obviously see that I use a wheelchair. For the people who don't know, I have a condition that I was born with called cerebral palsy, left-sided hemiplegia. So cerebral palsy is caused by when you have a stroke at birth. I've had MRI scans, and there's 5 parts of my brain which are dead. Basically because they got starved of oxygen when I was born. So they affect my left-hand side. So this is the left side of the hemiplegia part of my condition. So it's only my left side that is affected, which means that my left side is weaker, it's shorter, and I struggle with gross and fine motor skills. Okay, so as you saw, I use a wheelchair, and I thought that actually this platform, YouTube, is going to be a great platform for me to talk about issues that affect me, but also affect a lot of other people with disabilities as well. One thing that I like to do, I like to travel. Unfortunately, that's not possible at the moment with the restrictions due to COVID-19, but someday it will be possible. We don't know when. We just got to listen to the government's advice and follow their guidelines and recommendations. So, in the meantime, what I can do for you guys is I want to just outline the content that I would like to put on my channel for you. So, I have a few interests. So I have cars, one of my interests. Photography is another interest. I like doing DIY projects. I like making things. I'm not very good at it, but I do like tinkering about in my garage, and also I like travelling. So, for example, one thing that I find when I look at a car is there's no car reviews about accessibility, how easy it is to get in and out, how easy it is to fit a wheelchair, for example, into the boot. You know, I play wheelchair basketball, so I need to get my sports wheelchair and my day chair, which you saw in the time-lapse, into the back of the car. I'm quite lucky. I can put my wheelchair in the boot and then use the car to walk around, leaning on the car to the driver's seat. So I'm quite lucky. So I go for estate cars mainly. But there's no reviews out there which talk about how big the boot is, how there are, but they mention it very, very briefly. And they compare it to suitcases or litres of water. Wheelchairs are slightly different. They're different sizes, different shapes, depending on the person who it's designed for, because most of them are custom made. So I'd like to do some car reviews, look at cars, and talk about how easy it is to get in and out, how much space there is for wheelchairs, and stuff like that. Another thing I'd like to create content for is travel. So when I've travelled, I've come into no end of barriers. Whether it be going to a hotel, being told you have an accessible room, and then to turn up and be told at midnight when you turn up, oh no, there is no accessible room. Someone else has got it who doesn't have a disability. Right. And you can't have it for 48 hours. Okay. So, that's one barrier. For example, other barriers are air travel, train travel, general transport, and also kind of buildings that you might go into, so hotels, transport we said, and environment. So the environment might be, for example, oh yeah, this part of London has hills, stuff like that. So what I've come up with, or what I thought of, is a bit of a rating system that I'm going to use to make sure that I cover all bits of criteria that I think you guys want to hear. Obviously, this is very personal to each individual, depending on their needs. I'm looking at it from my point of view of wheelchair access. I'm quite lucky. I can use a manual wheelchair, as does Grace. So by no means is rating accessibility a 100% certain kind of science, because as I say, it's very individual to the person. So just bear that in mind. But obviously, if there are any points that I cover about somewhere that you're looking to go, then contact me and we can talk it through. Anyway, back to the main point. You might see that I go off on tangents a little bit, which can be a bit annoying and make the videos drag, so I do apologise. Anyway, so I've come up with a system which I'm going to call the BERT rating system. Okay, so BERT is building, environment, ride, transport. I'll explain why rides are in there, because me and Grace, we love Disney. Okay, we like to go to Disney. We were lucky enough to go to Disneyland, California, late February, early March 2020, just before most places started shutting down. So we were very, very lucky. 2 years ago, we went to Disneyland Paris in December. That same year, we went to Florida to Disney World, February, March again. And then we've been to Disneyland Paris a couple of times before that over the years as well. So as you can probably see, we're massive Disney fans. So that's why Ride is in there, because we've also been to places like Universal Studios. So yes, BERT. So building, environment, ride, transport. So building access, environment access, ride access, and transport access. Those are the 4 criteria that we're going to look at when we look at accessibility during travel. If you have any suggestions of any other things that we can look at, any other criteria that we could add into our BERT rating, then please feel free to put a comment down below and let us know. I hope that this is helpful to some people. So over the next week or so, I'm going to be working on a video about Disneyland Paris, a video about Disney World in Florida, and a video about Disneyland California. We're going to use footage that I've taken from when we were there, and then I will voice over the parts of it and talk about what we found best and what we found worst in each park. So keep an eye out for that. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and comment. If you've got a comment, I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Sorry for technical difficulties. Hopefully I'll get that footage onto iMovie soon. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.